everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, Blind. In the last one, we pretty much spent the entire episode accusing Mikan of the murder, actually. It took a long time to get the well, actually, she still hasn't confessed. But, you know, we laid it all out. And now, I guess we'll get to watch her get executed, which, great, I guess. I mean, I'm not really feeling like, oh, cool, let's get this over with, like I was last chapter, but, you know, purely on the basis of that I like Mikan more than I like Peko, but, it sure ain't looking like I was about to say Hiyoko, like Mikan's gonna be a sympathetic murderer in any way, which, I mean, it's a bit of a, well, I was going to say a bit of a nice break, but Peko isn't a very sympathetic killer either. Yeah, I think I stand by the statement of that Teru is one of the most sympathetic, and, like, everyone else, it's just been a steady decline. I mean, don't get me wrong, if it was all the despair disease, then yeah, I totally feel bad for Mikan. Doesn't seem like it was the despair disease, though. So yeah, on adding that on, I super got this trial all wrong. Or this case all wrong, but at least I got the killer right. So yeah, yeah, actually, because, like, last chapter, I hadn't got the killer as wrong as I had. And in this chapter, I didn't get the method as wrong as I ever have, so this game sure is surprising me. I mean, hey, in chapter 1 I was kind of clueless too, so.
Oh shit, I didn't read that line. It might be obvious at this point. You got it right once again. That's like 3 in a row. That's right. The true identity of the horrifying Blackened who killed 2 girls was Mikan Sumiki. You gotta be shitting me. You saying Mikan, the one who nursed us back to health, was the one who killed them? Don't joke around with me, Mikan. Did you lie to us all along? Were you planning to kill them from the start while you were nursing them? Well, I mean, you weren't nursing Hiyoko, but yeah. Yeah! I'm also gonna take that as a yeah. No, no! I mean, well, obviously not, because Hiyoko, as we established, was an unplanned murder, but don't just laugh! Say something! Oh, this is going nowhere!
What's going on?
This chick.
Hey.
This is nothing like Peko. She's actually gone mental.
Oh, there's nothing we can do. She's no longer the same person. She's no longer the Mikan Sumiki we knew.
Huh?
Based on my predictions, she might have caught it too.
I mean, yeah, but, like, Monokuma cured it. I don't think this is despair disease behavior.
She probably had the despair disease, which was the motive for this case.
What?
Mikan too, you say? Yeah, I know, because I was looking at Mikan for so long. She was the one taking care of me, after all. My consciousness kept drifting, but even so, when I did catch a glimpse of her, her expression was full of despair. Despair so devoid of hope that not even a single fragment of it remained.
Hold on. Did you say Mikan also had the despair disease? Then that means she was...
What?
Huh? Hajime, has something crossed your mind?
Yeah, that's why she was so hot. My body's heavy. No, not just heavy, it's somewhat soft and really hot. That's right. Mikan felt really hot at that time. Now that I think about it, that must have been a high fever. Just like what Ibuki and Akane had.
It cannot be.
Then, because of that disease, Mikan was...
Perhaps.
Yeah, the symptoms that she surely felt must have been deserving of that name. despair disease, losing all hope, and harboring despair for all hope. Because of the despair disease, she was likely overcome with despair.
See?
Despair, 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 despair. That's the reason why she can still laugh in such a hopeless situation.
Jeez.
Which means Mikan standing before us is no longer the ultimate nurse. She's a completely different person now that she's infected by the despair disease.
Isn't that right?
She's a human who deserves to be called the ultimate despair. Yeah, I don't know about that, dude. I've met her. Although, I mean, I guess we also have, you know, the fact that the ultimate despair is a lot of people, so I guess so. Ultimate despair? Oh, wait, hang on. Are we supposed to be loosely implying that she is one? Oh, shit! Well, in that case, color me a little more interested. Oh. Is that really what we're implying here? That's the reason why I cannot forgive this. Oh, right, because she's all about despair. It had nothing to do with the free will thing. I mean, killing someone for the sake of despair instead of the sake of hope? God, what a loser! There's no way I can forgive that.
Oh, for the sake of despair. That's completely wrong.
Wrong? Wrong? What's wrong?
What I did was for the sake of my beloved.
Excuse me? Who are you talking about?
If only they were still alive, they'd be so happy. I know.
My beloved was the only one. That's right. The only one who never hated me.
Uh-huh.
They forgave my existence. They forgave me and accepted me.
Uh-huh.
Gave me value.
And who are they?
They loved me. I loved them with all my heart, and they returned it in full. This is my reciprocation.
They're murdering two people?
I understand that I've done something unforgivable. But you know, to transcend all that is truly
Love.
what love is all about.
Yeah, I just realized that I have slowly transitioned her into high-pitched genocide Jill. And that seems oddly fitting right now. I don't understand what you're saying.
You don't understand? Is it because you don't have anyone to love? Is it because you're also someone who isn't accepted by anyone? What a pity. I feel sorry for you.
Oh. Oops. Well, I mean, not oops. Got a good riddance, but...
Even if I say this, I'm sure nobody here would understand, but love is a wonderful thing. Ah! This feeling of freedom where you can no longer care about anything. My beloved and I are the only ones within that thin veil, and I'm just looking out through it. That's why, as long as I'm on the inside, no matter how much they tease me, splash me with water, kick me,
How amazing.
it's like nothing matters. I could just die, that's how little it matters. Who cares about hope or despair? It's love. Only love.
Could it be?
Nagito, Is this really the despair disease you were talking about?
This is...
It seems that I was wrong. Not only was she infected by despair.
You were half right. It's right to say that this is all thanks to that disease. Because, thanks to that disease, I was able to remember my beloved.
Remember?
Apparently that's what my symptom was. What a wonderful symptom.
Which means you had the remembering disease? But if this means you remembered something and ended up like this, are you saying you were like this from the start? Were you like this before you even came to this island?
Don't get so angry. Well, first of all, the reason I became like this wasn't my fault. It was all your fault, you know?
Okay, well before we get into this, let's dissect that. So, was she already insane? Or was she insane because she fell in love? I mean, is she just a yandere? Is that what we're going for here? I'm not really sure, but alternatively, she became insane because of her beloved? We'll have to get a little more before that's concrete. Also, thanks, Mikan, for blaming all of us.
Because it's not like I'm entirely responsible for turning out like this. I'm the person I am today because of many human relationships. So it's everybody's fault that I turned out like this. You see, even so, the current me was most strongly influenced by my beloved's existence. And it was also my beloved who created the me that everyone can't forgive. But my beloved still forgives me and still accepts me. This is the key difference between all of you and my beloved.
Don't fuck with me!
Like I said, who the fuck are you talking about? Okay, I think then she's insane because of her beloved. So, oh Jesus. Something happened to you after Twilight Syndrome murder case, eh? Are you saying this is Mikan? She's the real Mikan? Mikan, please answer me. Did you really remember? You ended up like this. All because you remembered? There's no way I can believe that! There's no way. The person you are right now is the real Mikan.
Oh, you still doubt me? Then, to prove I remember, I'll tell you something nice. It's about that World Ender organization that you all were worrying about.
You serious?
You know?
No, I just remembered, that's all. I knew about it all along. How that horrifying organization known as World Ender is also the organization known as the Future Foundation.
Oh! Okay! Alright. Future Foundation. Future. That's right. That symbol on the ancient ruins door. That's right. It was the Japanese word for future. Just what is the Future Foundation? What are they planning?
As the name suggests, that organization is the World Ender. The Future Foundation is trying to end our world. To put it simply, they're trying to claim the world for themselves.
This is bad.
What the heck? This isn't a comic book, you know?
As part of their plan to end the world, the Future Foundation brought us to this island.
Okay, well, I mean, now I know that Monami is alright, because Monami's with them, right? So, I know they're alright. At least somewhat. I mean, we saw this with Ultra Despair Hagakure, right? Like, not everyone's a huge fan of Future Foundation. Canon! So, is Mikan also one of those people who doesn't like Future Foundation? I mean, Haiji didn't like him either. He had his own reasons.
Isn't that right, Monami? Huh?
I know it. Monami, Monokuma, both members of that crazy organization, aren't they? Aren't they? Oops.
Monami and I are members.
I am Monokuma.
My existence is entirely my own.
Okay, that's... Oh, yeah. No, I think she's an ultimate despair, eh? Oh, that's lovely. Does that mean her beloved is Junko? Because, I mean, I thought... the thought briefly crossed my mind. The whole... I'm hated by society, but they loved me anyway... is, pretty similar to the narrative she gave the Warriors of Hope. Don't laugh. Especially not like him. Hey, Mikan, if you really do remember, then you already know, right? The true identity of the traitor hiding among us.
Of course I know that. Let's see. The Future Foundation lackey that's hiding among you all is... Oh, well, no one really cares about that, don't you think?
Of course not.
Oh, hell no!
You'll find out eventually, so there's no need to be so impatient. Probably when the countdown ends.
Countdown? You even know about that?
I don't know anything.
Huh?
I have a feeling that's what it is, but who cares about that, you know? I'm drowning in so much love. From the bottom of my heart, I just don't care about anyone or anything. Mikan, is this really you?
I won't believe it. There's no way I can believe you were like this all along. Because if that's true, then who's the person we've been spending time with up until now?
The past.
Past?
That person. She didn't exist in the beginning. She's just my past self who lost her school memories.
So yeah, she was just the very skittish, meek, Mikan before Hope's Peak. And it's really, I mean, you know, if you're gonna meet Junko somewhere, right?
You guys considered that thing a friend. That doesn't make me happy at all. It just fills me with despair. You guys accepted my past self, but not my present self.
That's...
Well, that applies to you all as well. Memories of people, memories of events. Whatever memory it is, losing memories are.
Do you understand?
Like losing your personal identity. Memory is the most important component in building a person, don't you think? Losing our memories makes us shadows of the past, don't do you think?
I don't know what you're trying to say, but in the end, it always leads back to that story. That story about our stolen school lives.
Yeah, so it was true all along? Our memories were taken away? If it wasn't true, we wouldn't be suffering this much.
Well, why don't you just take your sweet time and remember your own pace. At your own pace. Oh, Monokuma. Is it all right for you to start now?
Yes,
A
indeed.
punishment time.
Damn it. Why? Mikan! Why does it have to end like this? This is too pointless. This is too much.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For the ultimate nurse, Mikan Sumiki.
So it's over. It's really. Now I can go to my beloved, who always forgives me. I can finally see them. Please forgive me, the one who's going to die with the hope of finally seeing you.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Well, if her beloved's already dead, that, does raise the chances of it being Junko. Oh boy. Execution hours. Bye-bye ouchies. Okay, that's not what I thought he was gonna do. I'm sorry, what the fuck? That was shit. That was the worst punishment I've ever seen! And she was one of the few people who kind of deserved it! Like, entirely deserved it. What the fuck? That was awful! I mean, squeeze a little bit more fan service out of her beforehand, eh? But, like, fucking... She just got off and then just blasted off. Like, what? I didn't even see her die. Look, I don't really like watching these characters die, but, you know, sometimes people deserve it. And Mikan fucking deserved it. But I have some things to say about this chapter, and we'll get to them soon, but I think that execution really just epitomized my feelings towards this back bit. It's finished. Is it really finished? The killer who killed Ibuki Miyoda and Hiyoko Sayonji was Mikan Sumiki. She's been executed. Kinda. She apparently committed a crime because she was afflicted by the despair disease. So what? What's finished? Nobody wanted it to end this way.
Let me ask.
Who was that Mikan from earlier? Was that her true form? Or is that itself a symptom of the despair disease?
It doesn't matter either way. She ended up like that just from remembering. And all along, Mikan was never worth being a symbol of hope. Even if her words were influenced by the despair disease, the disease turned her into that. She lost herself to a simple disease. She was definitely unworthy of being a symbol of hope.
Isn't that right?
So, let's just move on. Come on! Let's take all this despair and change it into hope.
That is impossible! I mean, I thought we were friends this whole time, but even so...
Like a house of cards collapsing in an instant. In the end, our friend we thought we knew ended up showing us a completely different side of herself. Then she vanished from our sight, leaving behind only her malice towards us. And now, there's no way we can just move on or try to have a clear-cut attitude about these feelings. It's clearly impossible.
Damn it.
It would have been so much easier if she was the traitor too!
Wrong.
Too bad, that's not the case. Mikan was not the traitor. The traitor is still alive. As proof, see how fine Monami looks right now. I'm not fine at all. But if the traitor died, you wouldn't be this calm, right? I mean, you're both pawns of the Future Foundation, so you guys are like two hearts beating as one, right?
What does that make you, fiend? You did say that you're different from Monami.
Who cares about who I am? More important, I'm tired. The drama just kept going and going and going. I didn't even have time to eat my black bean right eye during the break. Your right eye's made out of black beans? Wait, now's not the time to focus on that. What are you trying to say? You know, isn't it sad that life has its ups and downs? It's fun because downs come after ups. But if life was full of downs, wouldn't it get boring? So, in order to help you guys feel better, I've prepared a special event.
Oh, joy. Special event?
Head over to the First Island's beach. An old friend will be waiting there.
Oh, hello! We're gonna get Nekomaru back?
Old friend? Could it be? Nekomaru? Is it? It is, isn't it? Nekomaru was safe after all? Safe. How should I say this?
I know it. I know that crazy bastard Nekomaru would come back to us in one piece.
Awesome! We're starting to see the light of hope!
The light of hope? I am happy Nekomaru is returning to us, but three of our friends just died, so I honestly cannot be happy. Miss Sonia. Even so, I am still happy. If Nekomaru is safe, I am truly happy.
If you are happy, you should honestly greet him with open arms. Perhaps those who have been taken from us would do the same if they still lived. Well, Ibuki definitely would. I don't know about Hiyoko, but yeah. Hey, Supreme Overlord of who gives a shit. That line doesn't suit you at all.
Silence! I shall crush you into dust!
Ibuki, Hiyoko, Mikan, can you hear us? If you are unhappy, I apologize. However, please forgive me for right now. I want to warmly welcome Nekomaru when he returns to us.
You don't have to worry, Sonia. I'm sure your feelings are reaching them.
Then, let's all go greet Nekomaru. Let's make it grand, even for those who have died.
What the heck? Do I still have the after effects of that disease? I don't get this at all. I can't, eh?
Alrighty then, let's go!
Yeah, you're right. Nekomaru's coming back. We heard that. We were unable to contain our excitement as we jumped onto the elevator.
They just ran off without listening to what I had to say.
Unbelievable.
Jeez, they're so impatient! Didn't they learn to stick around until the others have finished talking? Well, what does that mean? You're plotting something again, aren't you?
No way!
I'm not plotting anything. I was just trying to properly explain everything to them. Including Nekomaru's body.
Oh. Oh, are you gonna top this off by... Oh, fuck. No! He's gotta be a... Oh. They're just... Is he just gonna have dumped the body there? Just be like,
Yeah, I couldn't save him. Oh well.
is that what we're going with? Fuck you.
Huh? Nekomaru's body? It's their fault for not sticking around until I finish talking. So if something happens because of that, I bear no responsibility. What did you do to Nekomaru?
What's this?
What did I do? I just saved him, that's all. I mean, if I didn't do that, there's no way I could have saved someone who was that close to death. So it just couldn't be helped.
Well, that didn't sound like he's dead, but as soon as we exited the elevator, we started running. Hurry! To the beach on the first island!
Alright, let's haul ass!
Even though our minds were completely exhausted, strangely enough, our bodies felt light. Without stopping for anything, we kept right on running toward the beach on the first island. You there, dude? Where in the world is Nekomaru?
Hey, Nekomaru! Show yourself! We have come to pick you up. Please hurry up and come out of hiding.
We raised our voices. We looked around the area. We raised our voices again. We looked around the area again. And so on and so forth. We kept looking for him. But... What the hell, man? He's nowhere to be found! Could it be? Did we get false information from Monokuma again? And that's when it happened. We heard a familiar voice echo throughout the beach.
What happened? Were y'all looking for me?
Oh, man. Oh, another time face cam would have been real nice. A dumb old smile just spread across my face. I mean, I know I said when he kind of died, I didn't have that big of an attachment to Nekomaru, but, like, it's good to hear him again.
Could it be?
That voice!
With high hopes in our hearts, we turned toward the direction of the voice. And then we saw something truly unbelievable. Okay.
What the?
Yo! I've kept you waiting. Hey, what's going on? Perhaps you don't remember my face since we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah, it's been a few days.
That's pretty sad, you know? That's too much.
Who are you?
Huh? You too? What's going on? If you're messing with me, I'll stop doing it to you.
Nekomaru? Haven't you noticed it yourself?
What do you mean, noticed?
Um,
Oh, you mean this body?
yeah.
This is nothing. The name's Nekomaru Nidai. I've been reborn in the rivers of hell.
I take back what I said earlier. I think we just found our Tin Man in this game. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? I'm gonna end it there? What the fuck? Okay. Okay. What the fuck? He's a robot? Man, that left side is, really going down, eh? Jesus Christ! There we go. Nurse's apron. Well, time to talk about the chapter. Well, I guess we'll start at the end and go backwards. So Nekomaru, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll be getting into that next chapter. What the fuck? Okay, I mean, I wasn't expecting that, so, yeah. Mikan, I mean, I'm not... Sorry if you can hear that. Dog's going rabid outside. I'm kind of torn, right? On whether I can blame her or not. Because, like, she did only murder because of the despair disease. But also, she didn't at all. The despair disease was an indirect cause of it. So, yeah, no, I think a lot of the blame is gonna lie with Mikan on that one. Yeah, that execution was god-awful, and as I said there, it really summed up the back end of that chapter. It kind of just felt like it happened. You know? It just sort of came and went. This sure was a chapter that ended up happening. Like, I already said this, right? At, like, the halfway point of the chapter. I was really torn. Because on one hand, I really liked what they were doing with Fuyuhiko here. I really liked what they were doing. And the motive idea and the atmosphere around it, that was all really, really solid. But nothing else in this chapter really was. I've spoken about how I really hated that scene with Akane that ended up getting Nekomaru killed. Like, that was awful. What they've done with Hiyoko was shit. The back end of this trial was shit. The trial itself wasn't that bad, but it was really simple. Like, even by Danganronpa 1 standards, this case was really simple. This felt like it should have been the first case, not the third one. Because the first one was pretty complicated. I'd have put that here. It was a good trial, good twist, good killer, good red herring. Case 1 was really good. And case 2, like, I've said my piece on chapter 2. Like, I liked the build-up enough. The after-trial was really good. The method and stuff itself was alright. It's just that the trial wasn't that good. And neither's Peko, but, it's alright. Tit for tat. Peko might not have been very good, but Fuyuhiko has sort of knocked it out of the park so far. I've really liked him coming forward. Or I've liked what they're trying to do with him going forward. Yeah, this case just felt so simple. And I know, joke's on me for getting the whole thing wrong because of that. But I don't know, I kind of liked my idea better and thought it was a lot smarter of an idea. Like I said it at the time, the thing with the camera angle being the thing that we being like the big thing that we nabbed Mikan on. Why? What sense does that make? I did not get that at all. I'm impressed I didn't game over, to be honest. Because that didn't make any sense. It only made sense because nothing else made sense. And it was a weird, like, outlying thing. Yeah. God, I mean, I could go on forever about that piss-poor execution, but I think the worst thing about this chapter was what they did with Hiyoko. Like, not only they set her up so nicely, this chapter started out so good for her, and then the Akane scene hits, fucking tanks it, and then they kill her, which, okay, fine, look, I get it, right? Some people die. I know, like, that's, like, a criticism of, like, Taka in Danganronpa 1. I honestly don't see that really as, like, a valid point of view. I said it then, I'll say it again now. Taka, quote-unquote, died at the end of Chapter 2. Like, he was gone. Like, the whole Kyondo thing, and then he died in that chapter for real. Like, yeah, I accepted that. That was okay. Like, is an interesting parallel, right? Whereas Taka has evidently changed for the worse, or he did change for the worse following Chapter 2. For Yuhiko, following Chapter 2 seems to be changing for the better, and that's something, another interesting parallel between the two second chapters of these games. But yeah, no, Hiyoko, I also said it during the closing argument, they just gloss over her entirely. She feels like she is just a piece of evidence in this case. It feels so pointless. And I didn't think so at the time. Like, I sort of just accepted it, right? Like, not everyone who should survive is gonna survive. You know, that's just how it goes in this sort of game. But their execution of it here was just not good. Really not good at all. Like, at all. I'm just not, not really feeling it with the Hiyoko stuff. Again, like, Ibuki and Mikan, and even Hiyoko as the victims and murderers, or murderer of this chapter, like, okay, Ibuki was, I think, is a good choice here. Like, she had her time in the sun, pun not intended, based on the island aesthetic, but, yeah, it looks like, you know, I did enjoy Ibuki. She did really grow on me this past chapter and a half. But she is ultimately just one of those, like, comic relief characters at the end of the day. Sort of the same with Mikan in that respect. And arguably Hiyoko as well. You know, Ibuki didn't change. Mikan didn't change. And by the end of it, well, by the midway point of this chapter, Hiyoko might as well not have changed. So, yeah, basically they performed a little bit of character assassination on Hiyoko is what I'm trying to say here. And I think it stings extra badly because I did her free time events, right? I really like Hiyoko. And I really liked what they were going for with her character development in this chapter. And fucking Akane comes in and just shits on it. And again, as an overall chapter, I'm really torn on it. Because, like, the motive setup, like, that entire bit with, like, the despair disease, and we're like, oh god, we're gonna have to isolate ourselves, all that stuff, that was so good. I honestly think that was probably the best bit of this game so far. like, you know, in terms of like setting and atmosphere and whatever, but aside from that, nothing really landed in this chapter. Like, yeah, we had the Fuyuhiko stuff, which was good. The choice of most of the people to die in this chapter, yeah, like I can sort of get behind it. Like in Danganronpa 1's chapter 3, that chapter sort of felt like cleanup for the last characters who weren't like gonna survive or be super important, you know? That's sort of why it felt like it was 3 murders. You just sort of swept Taka, Hifumi, and Celeste out of the way because they were the last members of the cast that weren't main characters, you know? I mean, to be fair, at the time, Hiro also didn't feel like a main character, but you know, he goes on to survive, so, you know, I sort of kind of consider him one now. And like Sakura, she might not have survived, but she was pretty instrumental to not only Hina, but the rest of the plot going forward. So, that was that. But, I don't know, looking at the cast that's left in comparison, it's like, who we got? We got the main 3, right? Like, great. But, other than that, I feel like Kazuichi's the only one who's really... Like, Kazuichi and Fuyuhiko, but I feel like Fuyuhiko's a bit of a no-brainer there. I feel like they're the only ones who are really important, you know? It stings to say that, it really does, because, like, the other 4 we've got left, right? Gundam, Sonya, Akane, Nekomaru. I really like Gundam. But he hasn't really done much. I mean, he found the thing, the torn curtain, and he found the secret passage in chapter 1, which was very important. But, like, other than that, he kind of hasn't done anything, which is, again, a shame. I mean, on the flip side of that, I actually kind of like that he hasn't done anything, because it sort of feeds into that quiet loneliness he has, which is good for his character, but, you know, it doesn't make him feel important, you know? It doesn't make him feel important to the plot, but it does do his character a good service, which is sort of like the thing with Hiyoko's free time events. Oh, that does her character so well, but the story totally shits on her, you know? Yeah. It's whatever, I guess. And Sonya, who's done almost literally nothing, but I find her to be quite entertaining, so, you know, it sort of hurts in that regard. Nekomaru, I mean, he saved Akane. He did that. He also took a shit. Or didn't take a shit, and that was pretty important. And then Akane, who we gave a piggyback ride to, and nearly got Nekomaru killed, you know? Look, we've got a lot of characters that I'd consider somewhat expendable here. 4 of them, in fact. And, I mean, if we're going based on the same logic as Danganronpa 1, we're only gonna lose 2 more, like, at most. Maybe 3. I don't know, if we get it down to 6, right? Because, like, this game has had a lot of parallels to Danganronpa 1, and I kind of have a feeling I already know how Case 5 is gonna go, and then it'll lead into Chapter 6, and it'll be, like, just a plot unraveling chapter, you know? So next chapter, I think, is going to be the last chapter anyone dies. And I mean, if that's the case, then we're probably only going to have 2 who die, right? Which is going to leave us with 7 survivors, which would be cool. But were they really the best options? I feel like Hiyoko would be a better replacement for literally any of those four that I mentioned. Even Kazuichi, to an extent. Like, he's been important for techie stuff. He's got Hajime to, like, do things with him. He's important in that respect. In fact, I'd kind of put him as, like, sort of a hero importance, right? Because the hero's important because, like, people used his stuff and used him for, like, the murder cases, which, like, it was an active participation by him in the plot. It was like passive use of him in the plot, which is sort of the same with Kazuichi, right? Like, he made the cameras. He didn't use them in this murder, but he made them, or he modified them. And he's the reason Hajime went to the beach house in chapter 2. It's not like that really mattered too much. It sort of did in, like, the body discovery sense, but, like, that minor thing in the grand scheme of things. Whereas, like, Gundam, Nekomaru, Sonya, and Akane haven't really done anything. And I feel like Hiyoko would sit much better with, say, Fuyuhiko, Hajime, Nagito, Chiaki, Kazuichi in that sense, you know? But hey, again, we do have an entire chapter, and since we have so many expendable characters here, and again, it pains me to say that, but with that many expendable characters, it's kind of like, okay, we've got time to flesh them out. We do. And I mean, to be fair, Byakuya wasn't really fleshed out in Danganronpa 1 until post-chapter 4. Like, the very end, where he has his, like, oh, I'm not perfect moment, which, oh, so satisfying, by the way. I said it then, I'll say it again. That is just such a good, satisfying moment. But yeah, like, they have time. But 4 characters? I mean, two of them are gonna die, probably. Well, I mean, I guess Kazuichi or Fuyuhiko could die as well, but for the sake of argument, these 4 characters feel expendable. And I feel like it's gonna be 2 of them that die. Again, there's time to flesh them out in a story sense. I think Gundam is a pretty well done character so far from what I've seen, and we are going to do his free time events next chapter, so I'll be able to give my concrete answer on that one. Sonya's fine. Again, she's funny, she's comic relief, she's done well. I like her as comic relief. But then there's Nekomaru and Akane, who have just sort of been there. I mean, they kind of gave Akane a conflict here, where it's like, oh, I'm sad because I was stupid and Nekomaru got himself hurt for me, but now he's back and he's laughing about it and Akane's an idiot. I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that Akane isn't actually going to grow that much from this. In fact, I have a feeling she's going to be one of the people to die next chapter. More so than anything, as a slap in the face for Nekomaru, where it's like, hey, look what you did to yourself, you dumbass. You're a robot now, and this girl went and died anyway. Ha ha! Which it could provide good. That could be Nekomaru's thing. That could be like the big Nekomaru characterization moment outside of his free time events or whatever. But okay, this went on a whole spiel that I didn't really mean to go on at all. Basically, long and short of it, I think Hiyoko should still be alive right now. She really deserved it. And she was really shortchanged in the writing here. But we move on. Yeah. I do have to say, though, I think looking at it like that, I think this may well be the worst Danganronpa chapter. Full stop, honestly. Ultra Despair Girls included, this has so much that I don't like. Honestly, I think this is the first time I've really associated that with Danganronpa. This is the first time something has happened in Danganronpa that I'm just like, no, that was bad. Like, there are some things that's like, okay. Or like, Ultra Despair Girls made me extremely uncomfortable to watch. But, those things weren't necessarily bad. You know, Ultra Despair Girls was extreme, yes, but that was sort of the point. That doesn't make it bad. I mean, arguably it's in poor taste, bad taste, but doesn't make the actual not portrayal, the actual way, like, I don't know, I honestly don't know how to say it. It doesn't make it bad, is what I'm trying to say. And, like, some of the minor things in the cases don't really make them bad, per se. Like, I've complained a lot about the last chapter's case. But it's not, like, ruining anything, is it? It was just a little bit, eh. And then, you know, the after trial happened, and sure, Pecco's a little eh, but for Yuhiko's real eh. This case had none of that. It was unsatisfying, too simple, and killed Hiyoko. Look, it's unsatisfying in so many ways, and I don't really think that was the point. You can do that. You can have a case or a moment that feels unsatisfying. I know, I don't know, but I have a feeling that's sort of what they were going for with Mikan and her execution there. It's shit on purpose, I think. Because, like, this whole situation is supposed to be unsatisfying. 2 people were just killed by a psychopath. Like, there's nothing that's going to be satisfying about that in a way that isn't absolutely brutal. I mean, really didn't need the extra fan service at the end there. It added nothing, but Danganronpa do what Danganronpa do, especially with Mikan, apparently. Upskirt shots are just a favourite, as we learnt with Kamaru. But yeah, I think I've spoken about this for long enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, this hasn't, like, soiled my opinion of the game. God, it's just so bad now. But, like, that chapter overall was pretty bad. It again, really hurts to say that. I loved the scenario they gave us here, but execution was so bad. So bad. Oh well. I know I said this last time, but I'm going to say it again. I hope and I believe that the next chapter will be better. Because as of right now, I'm not understanding why this is the fan favourite game. So maybe the endings, few chapters, are going to blow my socks off. I'm kind of hoping they do. But either way, I'll see you guys in the next one, where we will get on with Chapter 4. Until then, goodbye.